Alright, welcome to Lab 10, Editing in ArcGIS Pro. Assuming you download the lab from Canvas, it's going to show up as your zipped Lab 10 folder. Right-click, extract all, and then extract it to your folder, and you end up with one of these. In there is an outline. Here's our outline. There's some images in it this time, just for guidance. And then the project. This one does come with a project and a Geodatabase. So go ahead and start by opening up that project. Pro opens. And the purpose of this lab is to learn how to edit and create new features through the hypothetical situation where you've acquired new land, specifically a farm. So you have this farm right here. I don't know who really owns it. Look it up if you want to. But it's just, you know, way out in the middle of the desert. I have sloppily clipped some streets to the area just so you have a main road to go off of. It's, you know, kind of just a random one that I chose. I wanted one with a creek nearby. So let's say you lose it. You've got bookmarks. This is really handy. And farm view. So I've set up that farm view for you. In this case, opening up the project from the actual project file is important because that gives you the specific farm location and the bookmark. So if you did not open this using the project, then you don't know where the farm is. Restart. Okay, so you've got your bookmark. That's nice. You can set any bookmarks. You can go new to create a new one. You can import them. You could send somebody a bunch of locations using bookmarks. That's nice. So the actual farm, here's the main road. You've got one plot, another plot, kind of a smaller one. Maybe you consider that part of the same one. Some buildings, a house, a bunch of farm equipment. Let's say that came with it, some trees. There's a creek that goes through it. You can tell that by the trees growing there. And then actually, depending on the year or the season of when this picture is taken, sometimes this section is has crops in it. This pool here is sometimes full, sometimes it's not, depending on when the satellite photos of this sometimes doesn't exist. Or a creek. There's a road over the creek. I bet that floods sometimes. And then another plot here and another plot here. So your farm in this situation is 1, 2, 3, 4, these sections right here. Not anything above, not these to the side. That looks like, yeah, that in real life that probably is the same owner. Nothing below. Here's our farm. So we're going to be creating and modifying the digital infrastructure for your new farm. So in the catalog tab on the right, let's open this up. We've got our Lab 10 project. It comes with the Geodatabase. You can ignore, there's no tools that I've created. Okay, so you open up the Geodatabase and there is the streets layer. That's just this yellow one right here. So starting off, going through the outline, we're going to be creating a bunch of new features, feature classes, and then creating the actual spatial features for those feature classes. So first thing, in Pro or in Catalog, right-click on our Geodatabase. All the files that we create are going to end up in this Geodatabase. The New button right here, and New Feature Class. This new feature class name is going to be Access Roads. Type should be a line, not a polygon. and then clicking through this next button down here. We're going to add a couple new fields. This is a nice thing that Pro has, in that when you create new feature classes, it makes you set up the schema, the basic structure of it, of the attribute table at the same time. So add a field, road type, it's a text field, good. Next, length, and the type is going to be float, which is a number with a decimal point. Just those two, okay. Next, great, coordinate system. Anytime you're using satellite data, you want to use either North American Datum 1983 or WGS 1984. Those work best. Those are geographic coordinate systems. They work best with satellite data. I prefer WGS 84. Some people prefer NAD 83, but let's just go ahead and click that. And then next, tolerances, cool, that's good. All right. And then finish creating it. Adding fields. And there we go, access roads. Now, the Geodatabase is there, it's in our contents pane, but there's no files. It's because it's blank, we just made it. So to create those, we're going to go Edit tab up here. In the Editor tab, Topology, the lab file, talked about this. This is the relationship between map features. We want to maintain feature contiguity when editing. Yes. Snapping. This is nice. You can set it how things snap to each other. We want snapping on, so it's off right now. Now it's on. It's highlighted. And then we're going to be going through a lot of the different buttons here in this lab today. So create. Click on the feature that you want to edit, access roads. You've got line, cool. Right angles specifically, that might be good here. Split line, so it's an intersection. Radial line, series of lines featuring originated from a common point, that's cool. 2-point line, so it's just a small segment. Freehand. It traces the line wherever you move your mouse, so if you squiggle around, the line follows that. And trace an existing feature, so you need an existing line or polygon for that to work. Okay, let's try right angle. No, actually we don't. Okay, so we're going to connect our access roads to the actual streets here. So click first on streets, and then again. When you're doing this, it doesn't have to be perfect. Try to do a good job, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're just going to go all the way around the roads for our farm. And then when you place your last one, double click to finish. And that is our roads. Is this how we like it? It's not bad. If you're not happy with it, you can go modify. The modify tools are kind of hard to use. But you can move, rotate, scale, add text, align edges. These tools more or less work, but they all take some practice to get used to. But I want to edit this, edit vertices. I'm just going to drag this up slightly. There we go. Okay. That's good. All right. And it's fixed. And it says create feature completed. Now that that is done, let's open up the attribute table. And those fields that we created a minute ago are their road type. We're just going to call it outer. Length is null. This is cool. GIS feature. Right click on it. Calculate geometry. It's going to be length, property, length, units. I'm going to say this is a farm in America, so it's going to be yards. And then the coordinate system, I mean, these are all the same, but axis roads, which is WGS 84. And we get a warning. Okay, let's see. What did we mess up? Okay, so that warning said that it had an error because the result was longer than the field. I made another field that was long integer. You can see right there, long. And the calculation is 7,000 yards. So the number that we got is correct, even though I think it had too many decimal points is what it came up with. So that warning is okay, you can ignore it. Alright, so we calculated geometry. We got a coordinate system, axis roads, great. Okay, so now that the exterior access roads are drawn, we can clear, well, not attributes, clear selection, and let's symbolize these. Go with anything you want. I'm going to do this one just because it's nice and visible, so you can see them. You don't necessarily have to choose the same thing as me. Next, we're going to digitize the interior roads. So we have access roads. Now we're going to add inner roads to this layer. So we're going to do create access roads, line features. You can zoom in and notice that it's going to snap to the existing road, which is good. That makes it so that when you hover the mouse around, try that, it kind of sticks to the existing road. But say you're making this as a data set, because the roads are attached, then like a routing software could actually route between these if they're attached, which is good. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but close enough is good. And then for each segment, double click to finish that segment. I think that's a road. Okay, here's another road. There you go. Middle mouse button, if you're using a mouse, middle mouse button will, if you hold that down, you can drag around. And double click. Okay, great. Looking at the attribute table, the ones that we just created are going to be interior roads. We could have done this, select them all, and done a field calculator, and that would make them all. You could write an expression that labels them all interior. Say if you had 50 of them and you didn't want to retype it. Also, let's update our length field. Before doing that, let's clear selection. Okay, so before we calculate that, let's clear selection, and then right-click, calculate geometry. None are selected, so it should do all of them. Property, length, field, yards, access roads, WGS 84, good. Calculating, same warning, that's okay, and there we go. And we know it's correct because we checked it the last time. You don't have to calculate that length 2 field, I just did that to be sure. Okay, and then we can close our attribute table. Oh, huh. Okay, close our attribute table. So now that that is done, let's do save. Save all edits, yes. That's an important button. It will ask you if you move on, if you want to save your edits, but it's good to do that. It's good practice. Okay, now that we have those interior roads, let's differentiate between the two road types. So we're going to go to Road, I clicked on the symbol, Symbology, Unique Values. Field is going to be Type, and we've got Interior and Exterior or Outer. Double clicking on Outer, let's do this one. Again, you can do whatever you want. And Interior is this thinner version of that same one. And that doesn't look terrible. Yeah, alright. So there is our farm roads. Great. Looks like the image. I chose to add this one. Okay. Next, we are going to digitize the actual plots of land. So we're going back to the Catalog tab. You're going to right-click on the Geodatabase, New, Feature Class, call it Farm Plots. Type is a polygon. Go Next. We want to add a field that is crop. Text, yep. Harvest date is going to be a date field. And size, let's do double. I know it says float there, but we'll see if float may not be big enough. Okay, and then WGS84, good, finish. Okay, so we've got access roads, farm plots. For farm plots, you're going to do this the same way. So edit, create, and choose farm plots. Now in this, there's normal, create polygon like we just did. There's also autocomplete, which is good if you have adjacent completed polygons. We don't have any of those, so not this time. Right angles, that's good. This is mostly right angles, but there are some places that are not. Create a circle, create a rectangle, create an oval, freehand, autocomplete freehand, no thanks. Trace could work because you've got your roads in here. For some of them at least, for the last two plots, trace would work. For this one, I'm just going to start with create a polygon. It works the same way. You can zoom in and hold down the mouse wheel to adjust. But let's just do the 4 points. Or 5, 6 points. And then double click on your last point. Okay, so that is one plot done. Let's do this plot. Double click to finish. Okay, now this one's a little bit trickier. We've got the creek bed here, and we do not want to include the creek bed as part of our farmable land. And apparently, at least for the last couple of years, this spot has not been farmed, so we're not going to include it either. Let's just include the actual land with crops on it. So corner. Now you could, for this one, if you wanted to try the freehand tool, you could actually, yeah, let's if you already clicked, hit escape. That'll cancel the point you placed. Okay, freehand. Oh, and you know what? Autocomplete freehand. Let's give that a try. So for autocomplete, you place your first point outside of it, or in another polygon that you want the adjacent border to be. So click here. And then I'm not clicking, I'm just dragging the mouse along that boundary. Okay, and then to finish it, double click inside that next feature, and look at that, that's pretty good. I'm gonna get rid of this vertex here, so let's go modify. So that actually worked pretty well. But let's go modify, edit vertices, and you can see right here there's this spare one. We can just adjust that right here, and it fixes that little error. Okay, save. Nice, clear selected features. Okay, that actually worked pretty well. So, autocomplete works pretty well. We did have one small error. And then you saw the Freehand tool. If you don't like it, you can always delete it and try again. You don't have to click Save Edits if you don't want to save your edits. Okay, and then let's try Trace for these last two. So I'm just going to do this corner, and notice how it kind of jumps to the nearby boundaries. And then double click to finish. Cool. All right, last one. Oh, maybe not. Nope, escape. Let's try again. Click once. Okay, so you have to be careful about snipping. So if you mess up with a vertex, you can escape. I guess I should just be more careful about what line I'm tracing. Huh, no, it doesn't like that. Oh, well, I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Clear selection. That is pretty good. Save, why not? If it's good, save. If it's not, don't save. And then let's update the attribute table. For our farm, what's that we've got? Oh, did I forget to add plot to this? I guess I did. Add a field. Plot. Type. Text. Okay. And I want it to be up here. That's pretty nice. You can adjust it while editing. You didn't used to be able to. Save, yes. Applying. Great, cool. Okay, so it's got plot, crop, harvest date. Plot 1. If you click on it over here, it'll highlight it. And it'll tell you which one you are editing. So this one's highlighted, and this plot is highlighted. So this is going to be plot west. Crop. Grow whatever you want to, I don't care, but these crops do well in this area. If you want to have all cannabis all the time, that's fine, but I'm growing almonds. Harvest date, I'm going to leave that blank, and size, we can calculate that. Okay, next one. This is the southwest pears. I like pears. Plot 3. This is the Midwest. More almonds. Plot 4. Cotton. Oops. Not cotton. Plot 4. Mid-East. Cotton. Cotton does really well in the desert. I go to Yuma sometimes in the Arizona, sometimes in the summer, and it's cotton fields all around the Colorado River in a similar looking landscape. And then this one is going to be east, more cotton. They grow spinach there too. You could grow spinach realistically. And then save edits. Okay, let's see. Harvest date, size. Harvest date, we leave that null. You can fudge it if you want to. I don't know any of the actual harvest dates for these, so that's fine. Size, though, calculate geometry. Property is going to be area. In terms of acres, sure. Environmental journal articles always use hectares. That's kind of a biogeographer thing, but I can't mentally imagine hectares. Acres is easy though. An acre is a soccer field or a football field without end zones. That one's good. You could do square miles if you want to, but I think it'll be fractions though. So acres. Coordinate system. Same as farm plots, WGS84. Okay, calculating. Oh, I had one selection. Make sure you clear selection first. Calculate. Let's do it again. We got no error message though. Area. There it is. Okay, that's some good acreage that we got. And you can see the three like normal size plots that don't have a river going through them are all pretty much the same size, about 158 acres each. So that's pretty good. Okay. Oh, and then one last one. We've got this area down here with all of our buildings on it, of our home, let's say storage facilities, junk, it looks like, out here. So we're going to add to this, create farm plots, cool. We're going to add a section to this. That is our building tract. Here's the decorative vegetation. Okay. This last one is going to be buildings. Leave it null, leave it null. Guess we should have calculated that again. This way you get good at calculating geometry. No problem. Okay, 7 acres. That's a nice plot of land. Okay. What I also want to do is symbolize this. So let's go Symbology, unique values, and then from there, you could pick a color scheme if you want to. This looks like vegetation, but then we want to format it. Apply to fill. Oh, okay. Where'd it go? There we go. Click on the color format, and then transparency. Let's go 50%, and then OK. And we'll see if that sticks. No, it's not, but that's all right. In desktop, you can just change transparency from properties, and it bothers me. Usually it's just right here or under display, and it's weird that it's not in Pro. I don't like that change. so it's actually harder to change the transparency now, but that's all right. Okay, so those colors look fine. This is all set. Draw a polygon. Yep, good. Okay. Next, we're going to create a feature class for the creek. We can get rid of those Symbology. Get rid of that. So you want right-click, new, feature class. You've done this a bunch of times so far. Creek, polygon. Next, we want the attribute flood, which is going to be a date, and then I actually want to add what was it? Area float. Okay. Next, finish, creating, adding. Great. Okay, and there is creek, and like usual, it is empty because we have not drawn it yet. So we're going to go create creek. For this one, just plain old freehand. So you do not need to follow the lines exactly on this. Close enough is close enough. Generally use like the trees on the side as the border for the creek is what I would do. So we're going to start here, and when you click, it's going to be with freehand. It's going to be wherever you drag the mouse from then on. So click. Using middle mouse to pan. Okay, go straight across at the bottom. And again, use, it's kind of hard to see once you cover yourself up, but roads. And then once you enter this area on the edge, just don't worry about it and go kind of loose because we're going to do a special tool in a minute. So that is fine. And then double click to end it. All right. Good. So we got this border all set. I messed up right there. That's fine. I want to modify. I don't like that bubble edge. I don't know why it did that instead of a straight line. It didn't do the bubble edge there. But reshape. There. Cool. And it cuts off that section. Reshape completed. Save. Yes. Close. Modify. Close. Create. So what we're going to do in this section, we're going to use the erase tool. It is a geoprocessing tool. View. Geoprocessing. Let's search erase. Erase works in a similar way to clip, in that you use the boundaries of one feature to remove sections of another. So the input is the thing that we are clipping, or sorry, erasing. We're getting rid of part of it. The erase feature, this is the eraser. This is the tool that we're using, and it's going to be farm plots. And creek erase is fine. Run. And it does it. Let's get rid of the old one. And there we go. We've got this nice creek shape that matches the farm layer perfectly. Let's double click on the symbol. Color properties. Let's do 50% transparency and something creaky colored. There we go. Apply. That looks like a creek. and I'm okay with that. If you messed up at all on your shape, you could go modify, and you could do edit vertices, and that lets you actually click on these and drag them around. So look, I can fix that little error that I had. There. Okay. Done. And it's fixed. Okay. Make transparent. Alright, that is our farm. Beautiful. So we're going to save our edits. Yes. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And we want to insert a new layout. For the layout, the farm is generally landscape, 8.5 by 11. And from there, we're going to insert a map frame. We're going to use this map frame that we've been working on. Dragging it there to there. Oh. Huh. Wow. I guess I double-clicked. That's alright. We can keep this one as an inset map. For the layout, set this up however you want. We've spent enough time with me giving you specifics on how to arrange your layout. I think you've done that enough times, done layouts enough times where you can set this up however you want to. So I'm going to just quickly do a layout. You are not required to follow that at all. Do whatever you want. Map. Map. Oh, I need to activate. There we go. Zoom in. I want to zoom in on the farm a little bit more. There we go. Okay. From here, this is a good time to add in things like labels. Let's go click on farm plots. Add. No. So now I have to remember how to do all these things. Let's add a north arrow first. That's north. Let's add in scale bar. That doesn't seem right. 12,000 miles. I think that scale bar is for this map. So I'm going to delete that. Click on this one, scale bar. That looks much better. Let's see. Half a mile. This is good. It'd be nice if you could move that text out of the way. That's alright. Let's go farm plots. Label. Not like that. Labeling. Now to show what you're growing here, you could do that with labels. You could also do that with a legend. We're going to label the crop almonds, almonds, pears. That one was null, so it left it blank, which is good. I'm okay with that. We don't need to label the water feature, I don't think. We do want to insert a title. Wallace Ranch. Call it whatever you want. You do not need to name your farm Wallace Ranch. I hope that's obvious. That looks fine. You could put in some text about what you grow on your farm. Let's do, oops. You know, I don't think we need this one. I'm going to remove it. Yes. Okay. Let's make the layout generally a lot easier to manage. There we go. Wallace Ranch. Scale bar. North arrow. And, your name. There you go. Again, like I said, anything that you like from previous labs as far as layouts go, you are welcome to do that yourself. If you wanted to do one of these pre-made ones, that's fine. Where do they go? Import layout. One of these custom ones. You could do that if you want to. I don't really care for this. What I do care about is that you learned how to create and edit features, which if your map looks anything like this, then you got it. Okay, I think I'm done. Share, layout, PDF, label it your name lab 10, 300 DPI is best, and export, and you are okay to go. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good time.